is Megan Raisley, and I'm a notebook coordinator with the Environmental Enforcement Watch project of the Environmental Data and Governance Initiative. I'm going to walk you through our Watershed Notebook, which is a data science tool that allows you to see what facilities are polluting under the Clean Water Act and watersheds that are interesting and relevant to you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Okay, awesome. So a notebook is shorthand for Jupyter Notebook, which is a way to write and share Python code. These notebooks are accessible on a platform known as Google Colab, which allows you to access and visualize data without actually needing to do any coding. We developed this notebook to help provide and contextualize data for watershed groups across the United States. It allows you to select a geographic area you probably know for your area of interest, a zip code, and find the USGS watershed boundaries known as hydrologic unit codes or HUC codes that intersects with the zip code. The rest of the notebook then gathers information about facilities that report under the Clean Water Act and the watershed. We use data from the EPA's Environmental Compliance and History Online, or ECHO, database. EDGI keeps our own copy of this database that is updated every 2 weeks. To use this notebook, you proceed through the steps, clicking the small play button that appears in the top left corner under each step, and then make choices about what you want to see. So I'm going to be walking you through this notebook that I ran right before making this video today. So first you're going to see this introduction and instructions, which I sort of walked through already. And there's some great additional links to more information here, and I encourage you to read through it when you run this yourself. So on step 1, which is begin, we're simply going to load some code to get started. So to do that, we're going to go to the upper left corner of the cell and click this play button. The only thing that we want to see at the end of this is the word done printed right here. So we know that it's worked. We've loaded in some code that we needed. The same goes for step 2. We're just loading some code to help us. So we're going to hit this button, and then when it's done, we're good to go. So step 3 is where you get to start making some choices. We have the opportunity to type in one or more zip codes we're interested. So after I run this button, this dropdown is gonna, this little box is gonna appear, and I can type in whatever zip code I want. In this case, I've chosen zip code 14303, which is the Niagara Falls area. If you wanna include additional zip codes, you do it in this format with commas between. So then I'm going to go ahead and run part B of 3, which provides more context about hydrologic unit codes, which I went through earlier. This is the way the USGS identifies watersheds, and they're defined at different scales. So this little graphic here from USGS helps better define the different scales. The number after the code, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, or 12, indicates the number of digits in that particular number, with more digits indicating a smaller watershed. So in our notebook, you can choose to look at HUC 8 or HUC 10 watersheds that intersects with the zip code that you already chose. So HUC 8 describes subbasins, of which there are approximately 2,200 in the United States. And then HUC 10 is a slightly smaller region with approximately 20,000 across the United States. Here, I went ahead and chose HUC 10 for my dropdown because I'm interested in a little bit of a smaller area close to my zip code. And so then, now that we've chosen a zip code and we've chosen a watershed scale, we're going to go ahead and run step 4, which just go ahead and collect the data that we need from our copy of the ECHO database. And after you run this step, you're not going to see a drop down or data or anything. You just need to see that it's completed after pressing this play button. So then we're going to go ahead to step 5, which starts to actually visualize our data. So running step 5 generates a map of all the facilities regulated under the Clean Water Act in our watershed. You can zoom in to see the zip code we selected, as well as click on individual facility names. So this blue large boundary is the watershed that intersects with our zip code. And then you see these little circles here are representing facilities. And then this smaller blue boundary is the actual zip code that we selected. So that's zip code 14303. And if we zoom in here to get down to individual facilities, you can actually figure out what the names of them are. So if you're interested in a particular facility or where facilities might be, this is a great place to start looking at that. Scrolling further, step 5 has also automatically generated this chart that shows the top 20 violators in this watershed for the last 13 quarters. So that's the last 3 years plus the most recent quarter. A facility may be in violation for a quarter because they failed to submit a report, violated a permit, failed to take action on a violation, or other reasons. Facilities that have been in violation the same number of quarters are not listed in any particular order. So if we're looking at this particular chart, Harbor Place Marine Sales isn't in more violation than 3M, for example. They've both been in violation 13 quarters. Because there are often many more than 20 facilities that have been in violation during the last 13 quarters and they're not reported in any particular order within the ECHO database, facilities that have been in violation for many quarters may not appear on this chart. So this isn't a comprehensive chart, but it's a good place to start. So we can see here in this watershed, it looks like 17 of the top 20 facilities have been in violation the entirety of the last 13 quarters. And if you run the notebook for a place you know, you might actually recognize some of the facility names here, which is awesome. So step 6 allows you to dig further into your particular interest, and you get to make some choices here. So running the cell at 6A right here generates a drop-down list to select a data set and 3 buttons that allow you to select what type of visualization you like to produce. So the data set options include Clean Water Act violations, inspections, penalties, 2020 discharge monitoring reports, and effluent violations. Here I've selected Clean Water Act violations, and I've also decided to chart those violations. So you can choose to map them, chart them, or make a table. And there's a little more information on each of these different data set options up here, as well as at this link. So once you've made your selection, you want to go ahead and run part B here, which actually produces what you've asked. So first, it'd be really helpful if we could read this legend. So this is a chart of Clean Water Act violations in our watershed. And we need to understand what this legend is telling us and all these different colors are telling us. So I'm going to scroll back up here, which gives us a little more information about the legend if we're displaying a chart. So the dark blue bar represents permit schedule violations, which occur when a facility doesn't submit a report on time or other schedule violations. As you can see here, this type of violation represents the majority of violations, and there's been a significant uptick in them starting around 2015. The teal bar represents the number of effluent violations reported each year. The orange is the count of compliance schedule violations. A compliance schedule violation occurs when there's a water quality target that is trying to be reached for a certain pollutant in an area. There looks to be a consistent uptick in these starting around 2008, where before there didn't really seem to be any at all. Finally, the pink bar, of which there doesn't seem to be any on this graph, is the count of single event violations. So then part C allows us to actually save the data we just visualized in part B in a CSV format to download on our own computer. So once I've run part C here, I can navigate to the left-hand side of my screen to this little file folder, and then I'm gonna open CSVs. And here I have Clean Water Act violations for the Huckton watershed that intersects with my zip code. So I click these 3 little dots on the right-hand side of this CSV and it'll download to my computer. So you can save it for later and dig into it more and visualize it however you like. And you can also rerun part B and C as many times as you want to look at different data sets for your watershed. So I can change my selection here, change the type of visualization I want to produce, and run part B again. And if I want to save that information, I can run part C again and walk through the saving on the left side here. So then step 7 allows us to choose a specific facility or pollutant to look at more closely. After running part 7A here, click what you'd like to focus on, which is a specific facility or a specific pollutant. And you can, like part 6, you can run this again and make a different selection later. So here I've selected to look at a particular pollutant, and then I'm going to go ahead and run 7B here, which generates a list of facilities and pollutants reported in this watershed. So because I selected pollutants above, in this step, I'm going to choose a particular pollutant to visualize. And I went ahead and chose benzene, and I decided to map that. So then go ahead and running 7C generates the results of benzene, a map of benzene for this watershed. So looking at this map, the orange circles indicate a facility that has reported discharging benzene or whatever pollutant we chose. The black dot indicates other facilities in their watershed that report under the Clean Water Act but didn't discharge benzene in 2020. And then finally, the size of the orange circle corresponds to the magnitude of the data for a specific facility. So for example, if a facility reports emitting 1,000 pounds of benzene, that would be represented by a larger circle than the facility that reports emitting 100 pounds of benzene. So if we zoom in a little more here, we can see the concentration of benzene discharges occurs in 3 areas in this watershed, this upper north area, this eastern area, and then this southeastern area, with most of them occurring in the southeastern corner. And again, if we want to zoom in further, we can see who the largest emitters of benzene seem to be, these largest circles, and figure out what these actual facilities are and learn more about them that way. So like sub 6, you can change your selections in part 7A. So I could choose facilities this time and choose a specific facility and visualize data about that facility. And we can generate new results. And then after sub 7 is the appendix, which includes some coming soon tools. So there's not much you need to do here yet. And that brings us to the end of the Watershed Notebook walkthrough. Hope this was helpful to you. If you have any questions or would like some additional help, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at EDGI. You can explore our website more at environmentalenforcementwatch.org. You can reach out to us at envirodgi@gmail.com or on Twitter at EEW_network. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.